There are so many reasons that frankly, it's hard to pick a place to start. First of all, when 28% of you brain-dead fucking morons give a blithering idiot like Sarah Palin positive approval ratings and think she ought to run for president in 2012, it really makes me sick to know I am lumbered with that many mouth-breathing Cro-Magnons I unfortunately have to consider as my fellow countrymen. Trust me, I don't. You motherfuckers are beyond help. And before you go thinking this is a liberal-based rant, that brings me to one more item on an ever-lengthening list. This liberal versus conservative paradigm that so many of you simple dunces buy into, as both parties sell you out to the multinational corporations, banks and special interests that actually run Washington, D.C., you do this stupid dance every day, blithely detached from the reality that you yourself are helping to divide and conquer the nation, as you myopically beat your little Hanny-Ty Olbermann drum of feudal self. Righteous indignation. Pathetic. This is a nation of pussies and fucking cowards. If this nation had any balls whatsoever, there would be a trail of dead men swinging from the ends of ropes leading from AIG, through Wall Street, the not-so-Federal Reserve, the 9/11 Commission, and right through every other set-up con job you people just buy into like a bunch of cattle being led to slaughter. It's not that Americans don't give a fuck. Every misled, misdirected group that goes out and crusades for the grand cause they think is responsible for the decimation of this once great nation proves that. The problem is that the problem isn't illegal aliens, i.e. Minutemen, or Democrats in Washington, i.e. T-boogers, or conservative policies, i.e. Code Pink. The problem is Americans themselves. Americans have sat on their asses while Washington and the Pentagon have bankrupted the Treasury and sent our sons and daughters into meat grinders in Iraq and Afghanistan for WMDs and connections to 9/11 that did not exist. And even after the overwhelming evidence that the intel was swept all up, doctored, falsified, unreliable, you stupid sheep keep buying into the brain-dead notion that somehow these wars are for the freedom of America. You're an idiot. They're wars for empire. Your sons' and daughters' blood is being used as oil to grease an evil, out-of-control war machine. Your money and financial security is being devoured by Wall Street and the Federal Reserve, with collusion from your elected representatives, and your standard of living is slowly eroding into a two-class system as the middle class is being forced into extinction. And you do nothing to stop any of it. You ignorant fools who send shotgun emails to all your friends warning of death panels and other such health insurance industry propaganda. Yes, you friggin' gomers actually think the health insurance industry has your best interests in mind, and it's that mean old government that wants to penalize you by providing your family health care that isn't profit-based. Medicare only got passed because it effectively removed the highest risk group to the insurance providers, the elderly, from the pool of prospective insurers, thereby minimizing their financial exposure. It's completely lost on most people that catastrophic illness is the main reason for personal bankruptcy, and that 75% of those who had to file had health insurance. And this is the status quo many of you are defending. You are beyond ants. America has lost its honor, as well as its collective senses. I don't wish upon America any malice or catastrophe. Trust me, this is happening with assistance and collusion from the top down, not from some Arab in a cave. I just want to live peacefully and live in a place that doesn't have leaders that hope for a catastrophic and catalyzing event to promote a war agenda that takes pride in kicking the shit out of unarmed peasants living in the dirt, then blames them for retaliating. Can't wait to see this dysfunctional madhouse in my rear-view mirror. When you abide by a system of government that you fully expect will side against you and with corporate lobbyists, many of whom represent interests that are not even from the USA, who bribe them with bales of cash, and are working 24/7 to maximize their profits and minimize their potential competition in the marketplace, all at the expense of you and your family, and don't lift a finger to do anything to change it, you fucking deserve what's coming. What might that be? Think Germany and the Treaty of Versailles. When a wheelbarrow full of Deutschmarks is what it took to buy a meal. When the dollar collapses, not if, when, that's when you'll really begin to see the true definition of fascism. The unity of government and corporations to economically and militarily control its people. History will repeat itself, but if you're like so many of the morons in the USA who think they're so smart but don't know shit, it will all be new to you. Good luck, you'll need it. This is the most arrogant nation in the XISTANCE, second only to Israel, and since all of our politicians are falling over backwards to kiss Israel's ass on a daily basis, fully knowing that exposing any inconvenient truth about them equals political suicide, that in the mass media in America that feeds its daily ration of bullshit is controlled by individuals biased towards them as well. Anyone who thinks they know what is going on because they read Time magazine and watch CNN, Fox News, or MSNBC, you are delusional. One nation under God, what a joke. Money is God here, pal. Even people who are reading this who hate the words I typed know this is true. What does it say in your Bible about the love of money? The root of all evil? No. How dare this nation question human rights abuses of other nations after Abu Ghraib and countless other bombing and torture campaigns, where it was stated it is possible to crush the testicles of young boys in front of their fathers to extract information. How dare this nation deign to be the world's nuclear police when we are the only nation to ever use nukes? Most of you actually consider Palestinians as terrorists, when it is they who have been occupied, imprisoned behind 25-foot-high concrete walls and denied basic human decency by apartheid Israel. Those of you who get your info from American media remain ignorant of the truth. You're probably wondering if I'm some Arab or other person hostile to America's freedoms. Lol, yeah, you're really free here. Free to go bankrupt if you get sick, even if you have health insurance. Free to vote on Diebold voting machines that can flip elections and leave no paper trail. Free to watch your life savings dwindle and evaporate into the pockets of the robber barons you patronize. Free to watch your job get shipped to China, and then you fucking fools buy the goods produced from those jobs at Walmart, further rewarding and encouraging businesses to continue this pattern. I have never bought a fucking thing from Walmart, and if you have, you are a simple, stupid fuckstick. You're free to be video monitored, photographed by the millisecond at traffic light traps, electronically surveilled, searched with no warrant, shaken down and partially disrobed at airports, free to be told how much shampoo you are allowed to carry in your luggage, free to buy processed foods that give you cancer, genetically altered vegetables that contain neat things like insect DNA, free to pay more than any other country on the planet for pharmaceuticals, free to be the pharmaceutical company's guinea pig for drugs that have potentially catastrophic side effects, free to have public policy dictated to you by government officials that have dual citizenship with Israel, free to have any meaningful truth withheld from you by the mass media, and free to be one of the 1 out of every 100 Americans living in prison. Land of the free, home of the brave? More like land of the sheep and home of the slave. It's not